Welcome back to my channel, Mommy Trainee. Today we're gonna talk about some of the must-have items for going back to school. So when we're talking about back to school, obviously we wanted to make sure that our kiddos are learning and growing, and we wanted to make sure we have everything to support that aspect of going back to school. But I think one of the things that's really important to me is that you wanted to make sure his immune system is as strong as it should be, and so that when he is going into school, especially winter is coming too, he's not going to be sick, because if they're sick they cannot go to school and they're not learning, right? So we wanted to make sure the first thing is they have to be healthy. Now, especially for the younger kids where they just had their first school year, so let's just say if they have never been to daycare and they just go to school now, like pre-K, the first year, the first couple of school year and first couple of winter especially, it's going to be harder. I think initially my son, when he goes to daycare, the first 2 years was really rough. I remember the first year when he goes to daycare, I think even the first week he was out sick already, because he was just introduced to so much more germs and dirty stuff out there. There are a lot of people that are within the school, teachers going back and forth, kids going back and forth the classroom. There are a lot of things that he could be in contact with compared to, let's just say, in the past when he was mostly staying at home with you. So the first thing is make sure that their immune system is in tip-top shape. Now, I have quite a few items here for that particular purpose. The first thing is, this drink is so good. It's not even, I'm not even just talking about immune system. This is actually a very yummy juice, and it comes with these little 2-ounce packets. For the most part, I do have to say, for young children, they only need 1 ounce. So let's just say if you have 2 kids that's going to the same school, if they eat lunch together, you could just give them 1 pack and just split it up. For my son, what I do is, he doesn't really need to, he's in pre-K, so he doesn't really need to bring lunch box and have his juice box yet. So what I do is, every single morning before he goes to school, he would be drinking Ningxia Red at home. For older kids, I think if you just kind of slowly, bring their dosage up. For older kids, especially older kindergarten, maybe not kindergarten, if it's the first year, you kind of have to try out how your kids respond to this. But the thing is, it's natural. It's basically a juice. There's not a lot of, it has essential oil in it, but it's not it has hardcore essential oil in it. So especially for older kids, you could just give this to them in the lunchbox as a juice box and call it a day. And that would help them with their immune system to kind of ward off anything that is, yucky in school that you don't want them to contract home. Another immune system boosting is obviously take your vitamin. This is specifically for, kiddos. This is called the Mighty Vites. I get this, actually I forgot to ask my pediatrician, but my son actually takes a multivitamins every single day that my pediatrician prescribed. But this is actually something that is just from Young Living. You could give it to your kiddo once a day. That's the same thing. If your kids likes to touch a lot of things, this is going to be a very good thing for them. It's the hand purifier, and it is waterless. So instead of using Purell and whatever other things that they use at school, you could just bring have your kid bring a small little bottles like this, and once in a while, just instead of you having to go and wash hands, once in a while just whip this out, especially before eating. Take this out, kind of rub it on their hand. It's actually quite what should we call it, nourishing to your skin. After you use some other brands that you could get over the counter, like Purell and things like that, when you use it, because it has alcohol, a lot of alcohol in it, once you use it, put it on your skin, it actually dries out your skin, but not this one. This one actually leave your skin smelling pretty good. Like my son likes the thief smell, but it leaves your skin feeling pretty moisturized and soft. It's not going to dry out your hands. So my son, every single time when I'm using this, my son would kind of like open his palm and say, I want some too, I want some too. So especially, school, if you are in like elementary school, high school and stuff, you're going through classroom after classroom, you're touching lockers and all that. This is something that they should have in their school bag or book bag or backpack. This is something that I like to use on my son every single day before he goes to school. And this is the Thieves Essential Oil. Now, I actually don't have much of this left. What I do is, once I have some, like a Thieves bottle that I have used up, like let's just say half of the oil, I open it up, put some carrier oil in it, like a coconut oil, a fractionated coconut oil, not the one that would kind of like solidify. Put it in, or any kind of vegetable or carrier oil in it, and kind of fill it up to the top. And then I put a rollerball top on it instead of dropper, like those orifice that kind of give you drops. And before you put on their socks, just roll it on their bottom of the feet and then put the socks on. And that would probably boost their immune system even more. So with these 4 items, these are the 4 must-have for them going back to school and making sure that their health or their immune system is in tip-top shape. These 4. Now, when it comes to learning, obviously kids, they're not that focused. They're always thinking about, after school, I want to watch that cartoon, and I want to go home and play with my toys, or maybe they have toys in their backpacks. I don't know. They're never really focused. So here are quite a few oils that could help them with refocusing their mind on their schoolwork and making sure that they have the mental capacity to absorb all the knowledge that they've been given. Now, the first oil, it's a KidSense oil. So this is already pre-diluted. You don't have to dilute it unless your kid had very, very sensitive skin. It is called the Genius. Well, as the name call it, if you want your kids to be a genius, every kid once in a while would need that little boost to make sure that their head is cleared and that they could actually absorb all the knowledge that they could absorb. The next one is a Clarity. And by the way, actually, even the NYX oil, I actually got it for my August, it's the August promo, like the freebies from the August month. So starting, like a lot of kids actually started school in August, at the end of August, or maybe even mid-August. My son just started his pre-K on Tuesday. Some of the New York school system starts their kids like yesterday. So like everybody starts school about these 1 or 2 months, and that's why in August there is quite a few things that would actually be helpful with going back to school. And Clarity is one of them. This is something that, if you diffuse it, I do have to say, for some reason, I do not like the smell. But I do find that if I have it diffused around my work area, it does give me clarity. Like once in a while, when you're tired, you have that brain fog. And I do have to say, with this, it kind of lifts the brain fog and makes you think clearly. Like, okay, this is how it goes. That's how I feel when I diffuse this. And the last oil is, I wouldn't say it's like back to school, or it is back to school. It would be very helpful, but it has a more general use, which is this oil. It's also an August freebie. It is the okay, maybe I have to edit that part out. It's called the Envision. It is to help you kind of think think a little bit more forward thinking, think of the big picture, and envision what you could achieve. And in terms of kids learning, they don't have to kind of have the envision to help them success in life. And if they have that, they would be, I feel like that, the two is actually goes hand in hand. It goes pretty well together. You have to envision your future, and then you have to understand, how important it is for your schoolwork, and then you just get down to it and do your work. So this is one of the oils that I think going back to school, or even, life in general, it is something that would be very, very helpful. And it is one of the August month's freebies. Okay, so we have gone over, let's just kind of have a quick rundown of the products that we have talked about. The first one is the KidSense Mighty Vite, to make sure that they are healthy. It's kind of like a multivitamin. Drink this every single day. This is the Ningxia Red, and just throw it in their lunch box or something. The next one is the waterless hand purifier, instead of using the other more alcohol-y kind of product. And also a diluted thieves oil. I have a roll-on on it. You could have the regular top and just drip on it, but once it's diluted, having a roll on, like a rollerball top, it's so much easier because you just roll it on their feet. Most of the time, unless they're like further along with them not feeling well, then you might want to roll them on the back. But just for prevention purposes, putting it on their feet, it should be more than enough. So it doesn't smell like, not everyone likes the smell of thieves. Luckily in our household, everyone likes it, but not everyone likes it, especially when he's going to school, he'll be seeing other people. You don't want, your kid to be like, oh, that's the kid that smells like Christmas. Things like that. And then for the learning oil, to help them focus, have mental clarity, is the Clarity. And also the KidSense Genius, help them learn, and also Envision. So I think these are the 7 products I feel that is very important for kids that's going back to school, or non-kids, like older kids going back to college is very important. So until I see you on the next video, you guys take care. Bye bye.